announced as we receive the details. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia issued a statement with a list of 40 names of leaders and elements responsible for planning, executing, and supporting various terrorist activities by coup militia's terrorist group, as well as financial rewards for information leading to their arrest or whereabouts. A statement issued today reads as follows. Based on the anti-terrorism regulation and financing and the Interior Ministry's statement issued in the 6th month of the 5th 1435 Hijri regarding the first list of terrorist parties, groups and movements, including the Houthi group, in light of the kingdom's commitments to combat terrorism, dry up its sources of financing, fight extremist ideology, and tools of its publication and promotion, and its continuous action to eradicate it and protect the society from it, and based on the dedicated increasing of terrorist activity by the coup group and their continuous endeavor to harm the kingdom's security with support of the Iranian regime, the sponsor of all terrorist organizations in the region, and detected bolstering the Houthi terrorist group's cooperation with the Lebanese Hezbollah terrorist organization within the framework of exchanging expertise and enhancing military capabilities among these terrorist organizations, and the use of ballistic missiles in a grave precedent in which these dangerous missiles are made available to these rogue terrorist organizations in a direct threat to the kingdom's cities, which aims at terrorizing the innocent and harming the kingdom's security, stability, tranquility, and public order. Kingdom urges those who own information to contact competent authorities in the kingdom through the state's safe communication mechanisms, which have been designed to protect the secrecy of provided information and identity of its providers. Kingdom's Coalition Command spokesman Turki al-Maliki has said in a press conference that Iran is supporting the coup militia in Yemen, following on what the coalition had previously announced regarding the ballistic missiles launched by the coup militias from within Yemeni territory that targeted the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia using ballistic missile with a range of more than 900 kilometers. And after the thorough examination of debris of these missiles, including the missile launched by experts in military technology, has confirmed the role of Iran's regime in manufacturing these missiles and smuggling them to the coup militias in Yemen for the purpose of attacking the kingdom, its people, and vital interests. The coalition's command considers the Iranian regime's action in supplying the coup militias that it commands what these missiles to be blatant violations of the United Nations Security Council resolutions that prohibit nations from arming these militias, specifically UN Security Council Resolution 2216. Further, Iran's role and its direct command of its militias proxy in this matter constitutes a clear act of aggression and targets neighboring countries and threatens peace and security in the region and globally. Therefore, the coalition's command considers this a blatant act of military aggression by the Iranian regime and could rise to be considered as an act of war against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and thus affirmed the legitimate right of the kingdom to defend its territory and people in accordance with Article 51 of the UN Charter. And the Coalition Command also affirms that the kingdom reserves its right to respond to Iran in the appropriate time and manner in accordance with international law and based upon the right of self-defense, including defense of the territory, its people, and its vital interest, which is enshrined in the international agreements and conventions, including the UN Charter. The Coalition Command calls upon the relevant parties to adhere to the inspections, entry and exit procedures to and from Yemeni ports of entry designated by the coalition that will be announced later. The coalition command calls upon the brethren Yemeni people and all civilian and humanitarian crews to avoid areas of combat operations, areas populated by the coup militias, and areas from which this militia launched its attacks against the kingdom. The coalition also calls upon the diplomatic missions to avoid areas that are not controlled by legitimate government of Yemen. The coalition command calls upon the international community and the United Nations Security Council, including sanctions committee established by the Council for implementation of UN Security Council Resolution 2216, to take all necessary legal measures to hold Iran accountable for its violation. An official source at the Foreign Ministry expressed the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's strong condemnation of the two suicide bombings in central Kirkuk, northern Iraq. The source expressed condolences to the families of the victims and to the government and people of brotherly Iraq, and wishes for speedy recovery for the injured, reiterating the Kingdom's support for Iraq against extremism and terrorism. Welcome back. We move on to Yemen, where the National Army made new field progress in the eastern gate of the capital, Sana'a. A statement issued by the Yemeni Army spokesman said that the field progress was achieved by controlling various strategic sites in a number of locations in Mayamana and Mina front of Nahm east of Sana'a, in conjunction with intensive raids launched by coalition fighters and targeted reinforcements and positions of the coup militias. He also stressed that the fighting area exceeded more than 30 kilometers as the forces of the army controlled all areas around. In Syria, a suicide car bomb exploded in eastern city of Deir ez-Zor, killing and injuring dozens. British-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said car bomb reported